Hi, welcome to the show. You're listening to The Kate Allen Show. I'm your host, Kate Allen, and you're listening to K-Talk Media, ktalkmedia.com. I'm really excited because I have with us in studio Paula K Bronte, and she is not only a master RapidEye technician, but she's also a color therapist, and she has a slew of other healing modalities that she uses and does on a frequent basis. In any case, I want to go ahead and welcome you to the show. So, Paula, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kate. It's a welcome. It's a welcome. It's a wonderful thing to be back. I love working with you on the show.
It's fantastic. So, I've been doing a series on, what people can do if they, are in some of those uncomfortable situations, or possibly if they, have some unprocessed trauma themselves. Where do they go? How can they heal? What can they possibly do? And so I have you here on the show so we can talk about this and go into this, right now. So first of all, if you can talk a little bit about you and what you do, and then we'll get a little bit more in details about how you help people and what you've been doing for the last 20 years.
My name, as you said, is Paula K Bronte, and I'm a master RapidEye technician. And what that means is that I work with people to help release from the subconscious, which is really the control panel. It's where all of our experiences and our perceptions are really governed from. So I work with people on a subconscious level to help release the fears and the traumas and the blocks that really prevent them from healing in a very deep way, from excelling and moving to the next level of their potential, and from just being happy. So RapidEye technology is really a very simple but profoundly effective technique. And from what I understand, Kate, you and I have been chatting for a while, and I understand the last couple of radio shows you've done, the last few interviews have been around trauma, sexual trauma, and sexual violence, abuse. And many of my clients do have a history of trauma and abuse. Some of them have PTSD. Many of them have had some kind of abuse in their life, because I really think it's actually become part of the human condition. I think there's very few people walking the planet, particularly female, that hasn't had experienced some kind of abuse. And many people will seek help, and they'll do different kinds of therapy, and it's very important. And it helps to do that work because on the conscious level, it can help us come to terms with the experience. It can help us to understand ourselves. It can help us to learn different ways of thinking and being so that we don't continue harmful, self-destructive patterns. However, working on the conscious level is not all of it. Working on the conscious level will not get us to that place of deep, life-changing healing. We have to go subconscious. We have to go to that deeper level of brain and mind that controls us in a way that we're not even aware of. Many people, when they come and have their sessions, they are really shocked and just perplexed at the kinds of programming and the connection between something that happened when they were 2 years old, let's say, and how they're behaving today. Their subconscious took in that experience. We work very much with inner child experiences. I do a lot of inner child work with RapidEye, and the subconscious that registered what we saw, what we thought, what we experienced in childhood will go on to be the program that really runs the computer system called our brain that outpictures in our experience in the world. And so I find myself attracting people who are really, truly ready to make that next transitional step. People that have done some work, who have had some therapy, maybe done some energy work, and they're better, they're more conscious than they were initially after the traumas occurred. However, there's still a lot holding them back. There's still something. There's a core true, or maybe a couple core true unhealed wounds that they haven't been able to get to. And it's because it's a subconscious. It's in the neural pathways of the brain that have not been accessed through normal conscious work. And so these people that are truly ready to heal, to become who they are, they've done enough work to know that there's someone amazing living inside of themselves. And that amazing self is really crying and ready and longing to come out, to expand, to be expressed, to be born, right? To give birth to this part of ourselves is a deep longing in people that have had trauma in their lives. And when we begin our RapidEye sessions, the first thing that I recognize in that person is that spark of divine, that amazing part of themselves that has been buried and hidden under the pain and the trauma, but that is so ready to come forth. And so we do the work that is really very simple. It has a lot to do, obviously, it's RapidEye technology, so it has to do with eye movement and blinking the eyes and working with the eyes in a way that accesses different parts of the brain, so that these memories, these blocks, these old programs that stop that amazing self from actually coming forth, they get released and they just disperse. They disappear. The energy that's holding the old trauma in place literally just dissolves. And it makes room and allows for this amazing self that's wanting to be born to show up. And I wish I'm going to start documenting how many people, because I know it's well over 80%, maybe 90%, that will tell me after just a few sessions that they are seeing measurable, definite, life-changing ways of being, that their lives are changing in ways that they didn't imagine it could, and that's very definable, measurable, and they're just really amazed at how quickly and easily things are shifting for them. It's because they came ripe and ready to let it go.
Now, when you say ripe and ready to let it go, what does that mean? Because I think sometimes, a lot of times, people are like, well, I don't want to live with this anymore. Like, I want this done and over. But is that ripe and ready to let it go?
Not necessarily, because we often have an inner conflict. Especially if we've come from trauma, there's a victim living inside. There's a victim consciousness. And very often people want to, or they believe on a conscious level, that they want to heal and they want to get better and they want to get past it. However, until that victim consciousness, until that identity of being the victim gets healed and released and re-identified, then very often that part of them is going to come in and try to sabotage. Right? No, I'm a victim. I can't heal. Yes, I can. I really want to heal. But subconsciously, what's happening is that victim is sitting there saying, no, I can't heal. I'm a victim. If I'm not a victim, then who am I? So I've got to make sure that I stay identified with how things always go wrong for me, and I'm always the victim of every situation. And no matter what I do, I'm always going to be the one that gets screwed and betrayed. And that subconscious program will often disallow people who believe they're ripe and ready from being ripe and ready. So if someone comes to me in that state, then we work to help release that victim consciousness. We help to change the identity.
So it sounds like almost like they have a victim program that's running in their subconsciousness. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. And a lot of times it's genetic. It just comes from watching mom, maybe. I've said it before on this show, that one of the things I learned in RapidEye that really stuck with me is that from birth to 6 years old, most of the time we're in theta. And that's the level of consciousness that's just above sleep. And it's where we go when we're in a deep meditation, when we're under hypnosis. It's where we're the most suggestible. We're actually in theta just as we're going to sleep at night and as we're waking up. And that's why often they'll tell you, if you want to program yourself, to listen to something as you fall asleep or when you first wake up. And so anyway, we're in that state of high suggestibility until we're 6 years old. So as children, everything we see and think and hear and what people tell us and teach us, we take as absolute truth. So when we're watching mom play out her victim role, because it's genetically her mother's mother did that, right? So we've got it in our genes.
So it's coming from your DNA too.
That's right.
And it's being modeled in the behavior.
That's right, exactly. So Bruce Lipton talks about this, how we can genetically turn our characteristics on or off. But if we have a propensity, let's say we